Jed, what did the other night and getting reward for your efforts after a little while without winning, what does that do for everybody around the place?
It gives confidence. Dan, we were right up for it the other night. We knew that we had to win the game, we had to get from the game, and we did. The lads put a really good shift in, and we managed to get the 3 points to sort of get us away a little bit more from the bottom two.
How important is it to be able to fight, to be able to battle, to be able to sometimes win ugly?
Well, we know we've got that change rooms. We can fight against the best teams in the league, and on our day we're as good as anyone, and we know we can beat anyone on our day, but it's the consistency week in, week out, that's the problem. And we've told the lads that, and they're getting it. They're seeing on board, and you know that Saturday, tomorrow we've got to go out with another steel performance, to be honest.
This run of games, and I appreciate you can only look at the next opponent really, but I think it was something like 7 games in a row against teams who were in the bottom third of the division. How important is it to get a return of points, a run of wins, a run unbeaten, whatever it might be?
Well, after getting the 3 points on Tuesday, you've got to get something out of tomorrow's game now, because otherwise it's pointless doing that. We know we've got to put a run together now, and we know we're going to try our best to do that. We've had a few hard games in the last few games, to be honest. We've had Paul Vale, Doncaster, 2 of the top teams in the league. Obviously we've lost them, but we've got good performance against them. So we take a lot of confidence from that as well.
How big an impact does it have when you play in teams that are in and around you? So the Harrogate situation, you're above them on goal difference. If you can beat them, how much of an impact does that have? Obviously not just the 3 points you gain, but the gap that you build.
It's massive, Dan. If we get the 3 points, obviously, as you've just said, we get the 3 points, but there's a little gap between us then, and then even further from, if the results go right, from the bottom two. So you just got to keep taking points off the teams around you, and definitely don't get beat.
We talk quite a lot about the gap to the bottom two, the number of points you are away, but are the number of teams between you and the bottom two almost as important, just getting other teams involved and dragging them into it?
Yeah, you want as many as possible. Obviously, Barrow, after last night's results, they're back in it now, and Gillingham as well. So you want as many teams in the as you can, to be honest. And the more points we pick up, the further up the tail we go. So that's what we need to do.
The other night there was personnel changes, but there was also a tactical change, a system change. Is it important at this stage of the season to be able to throw something different in? Because there's so much analysis these days and everybody watches each other. To be able to chuck a curveball in, is that quite a nice thing to do? Yeah,
you've got to freshen things up sometimes, haven't you? Obviously, some of the players get tired, little niggles, we've got to make changes when needed, and they were needed the weekend because we've had so many hard games, and the games are coming thick and fast now, so there might be more changes.
How much of a difference defensively has the recruitment in January made? I know particularly Ward and Matthews have really been catching the eye in recent weeks. I suppose it's been timely given that you've lost Rawson as well, but how pleased are you with that end of the pitch?
Oh, delighted. The 2 of them have come in and done fantastic. You couldn't expect what they've done. Obviously, Devon's come from Curzon, and Ben's come from the 2023s, 21s at Burnley, so they've both come on, they're like men now, as John said, they're like gladiators, so they're doing really well, and we've got Faz to come back as well.
As far as scoring goals is concerned, how important is Sean Worley at the moment? I think he's scored 4 of your last 6 goals.
Oh, as I said, I've said in the past, he'd be quality in any team in this league. He's a top player, top professional, top person, and you've got to keep him on the pitch as much as you can, but you've got to manage him as well because obviously his age, and he's had little niggles, so he's doing really well, Sean.
What's the difference, Jed? Is there a ruthlessness in him that maybe needs to increase in other players in the squad, just in terms of when he gets a chance like the other night? I don't think anybody doubts he's going to put it away.
I wouldn't say it's ruthlessness, Dan. I'd say it's the quality. The quality he's got. He's been a top player. He's had a great career. He's still got maybe a couple of years left in him, the way he is, the fitness he's got. So it's definitely not that. It's definitely the quality he's got. He's obviously a championship player, so he's done really well. Is
it one of the things that you're asking the rest of the squad to improve, though, that you want goals coming from other people, because you can't always rely on one person?
Definitely, yeah. Obviously, Josh Wood's coming the other day, and he was fantastic. He done his socks off. He led the line really well. Then Hendo stepped up to the plate now, and Ash Hunter's on the other side. He got a couple of chances. He probably, on a normal day, he'd put them away, but as long as we're creating chances, that's the main thing.
This game then, Harrogate won their last home game. I think they're 4 games unbeaten at home.
4 games, yeah.
But they have only won 1 in 6 or 7 games. What do you make of them? They don't score a great deal of goals in the league. I think they're the 3rd lowest scorers.
Yeah, that means nothing. It's just a battle tomorrow. It's going to be the same as Tuesday. We've told the lads, we've done our plan on them, if you like. We know it's going to be a tough battle. The ball's going to be in the air a lot, long throw-ins, corners, set pieces. I think they've scored 9 of the last goals, all set pieces, so we've got to be on our toes for that, and we've practiced it, so we'll see what happens tomorrow.
How do you drill that into the players? How do you make sure that it stays with them? Because I know John talked the other week about talking to players and working with players about stopping crosses and then conceding from a cross after 2 minutes.
It's hard, you just got to keep drilling into them. You've got to show the videos, you've got to show the goals they've scored, the goals they've conceded. You've got to take them on the pitch, show them how to defend, show them where to go, and hopefully they take it all on board, and they have done us late, so hopefully we can take that into tomorrow's game.
Harrogate was one of those early season games where you conceded late and didn't win the game ultimately. I think you conceded late there on Boxing Day the previous season as well. You don't want to leave these games early, but you don't want to be conceding these late goals, do you?
That was one of the games in the first 9 games which we should have took 3 points, to be honest. We conceded, what was it, the 93rd minute, something like that, and a long throw in again, I'd say. So we've got to, that's what we'll be up against tomorrow. We said it'll be just like Tranmere, the ball will be flying in the air. You have to roll your sleeves up and dig in, and we'll be ready for it.
How are you looking on the personnel front? What's the Batty and Rawson situation? I know they've been kind of on the cusp for a bit.
Jake's available for tomorrow. Faz has he's got to wait a couple more days with his concussion Tuesday, so he's not available for tomorrow, but everyone else is fit.
And obviously there were a few players came in the other night who hadn't played too much. Seb Quirk particularly, who's been out injured. How much is it about managing those guys, and how difficult is it to ask them to go again after playing Tuesday, coming in for a Saturday?
Yeah, if you've seen the stats that Seb run on Tuesday, you wouldn't think he'd been out. I think what's he been out 3 or 4 months, whatever. He's come back in, he's looked like he hasn't missed any games. He's been brilliant. He was really good. He was on his front foot. He defended really well. They had a big threat on the right hand side with Norman. Seb dealt with it really well in the air, so he's done great. So he's available for tomorrow as well.